Welcome to part 2 of Cruising with Families, where we would dive a little deeper into some of the most popular cruise lines and what programs they have for ages 6 months all the way to 20 years old. I will discuss some of the best cruise lines for families and provide you all with an overview of what they offer to give you an idea. And this is going to point you in the direction so you can start doing some more research for you. You can compare some of the options and make your best decision. Okay, number 1, and it's only number 1 on my list at this point, not necessarily that it's the best, because it's Disney, right? When you think of kids, to me anyway, I think of Disney, Disneyland, Disney World, all the things. Okay, so Disney Cruise Lines has beautiful ships. So their newest ships are amazing. And your kids will get to interact with some of the Disney characters. They have all kinds of themed entertainment planned. They have Broadway shows. They have clubs. They have shows that you would think you would see in the parks, like The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and those types of things. And they also have a private island called Castaway Cay. And on that island, they have beaches and other family activities. So what do they have for the kids and what age groups? So for kids that are 3 years and younger, they offer a nursery. It's a Small World nursery. There is an additional fee for that, so check with Disney to make sure that you're okay with the fees that are involved. For the 4 to 11-year-old age group, they have something called Disney's Oceaneer or the Disney Oceaneer Lab. So here they get to meet the characters from Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars even. So they set up those meet and greets for the kids. They get to get autographs and that type of thing. Plus they have additional activities for the kids. Now from the 11 to 14 age group, it's called the Tweens Edge. And it's a chaperoned area still, but they're going to have so much fun. They have a dance floor. They have a lounge area. They get to listen to the newest and greatest music. They have videos. They have gaming systems. They also have karaoke and scavenger hunts and what else? Let's see. They had theme nights. So they have all kinds of special things happening there for the tweens that you have in your family. And then you're thinking, well, what about the 14 to the 17-year-old age group? They're covered too. So they have what they call the Vibe. It's a teens-only lounge where, again, they're going to get to enjoy music and video games. In addition to the Vibes, the teenagers are going to get to hang out by the pool areas, ride the water coaster if the ship has it. They're going to partake in interactive games and relax on a private pool deck. Oh, and again, don't forget that karaoke. They love it. 18-year-olds and a little older, that between that 18 and 21 age group, I always get asked, what do they do? And I struggled a little bit myself when my kids were in that age group because they're too old to get into the kids' clubs, but they're too young to do most of the adult things, and they can't drink and that type of stuff. So some of the things that this age group can do is they're still allowed to go into the adult nightclubs. So they can enter those and dance all night long if that's what they want to do. They get to work out in the fitness center, and they also get to take advantages of the spa. And they can also find quiet time in the Cove pool. Some of these things do cost extra. They're adults now, so make them pay their way. I wish my kids would listen to that rule. So as a family together, there are dance parties on Disney, and you get to dance with the characters. You get to go to family game shows. They have a beautiful fireworks display, so everybody can enjoy that. You can hop in a pool. You can go down their water slides, and they have plenty of kid-friendly venues to eat at. So just again as a reminder that all ships vary. Disney has older ships as well. If there's something specific that I mentioned or that you already know you're interested in, make sure you check with Disney Cruise Line, and that before you book that ship, you know that you've got the option that you want. Coming in at number 2, and again, this really isn't in order of which one's the best. It was kind of in order in my brain. But number 2 is Royal Caribbean. So Royal Caribbean offers a wide range of activities and amenities for families, and they also have a wide range of cruise ships. And some cruise ships are definitely meant for adults and not so much the kids. Their newer mega ships, the bigger ones that you're seeing advertised on television or on the ads on your internet, they're the ones, if you've got young kids, teens, tweens, what have you, go for these ships. I'm telling you, my kids love them. And as a matter of fact, they're even my favorite ships. So let's talk Ocean Adventure. That's the name of their award-winning program. So it has totally been reimagined to let kids use their own immersive adventures in these areas. And they've won all kinds of awards for this. So they have programs starting as early as 6 months old up to 3 years old. So they have Royal Babies and Tots Nursery. So again, it is staffed by professionals that are trained with the children, and they oversee and they design programs for daytime and evening night drop-off. Now, I do know that there is a fee if you want to drop your younger kids off for the babies group or even the late night party group. Not that the kids are partying, but you're partying, right? But it's an extra fee, I think, up until a certain time. I don't want to give you the time because I knew when my kids were in it, it was one time, and I'm sure it's changed by now, but just check to see what the time is. For the most part, everything that we're going to talk about going forward is, you drop them off in the morning and you can pick them up before dinner, and that does not cost anything additional. So they have age groups for 3 to 5 year olds. That's called Aquanauts. And that focuses on age appropriate lessons. And they also incorporate music. They do creative arts and crafts. They have dinosaurs and even pirate parades, as I mentioned before. My kids loved it. They got eye patches. They got hats. They got little play. I think they have the plastic swords or the rubber swords. And, they walked around the cruise ship and people were lined up watching the kids go by in their parade. It was adorable. So the 6 to 8 year olds have what they call Explorers Group. They have the science lab. And that's really cool. So they get to dive right into these science experiments, and they study everything from fossils to meteorology. And they get to do a few of those controlled test tube eruptions. Do you remember that from probably middle school, maybe 6th grade or so, where you mixed certain chemicals together and it kind of blew up like a volcano? They get to do that. They love it. It's so much fun. They also have their own theater. So, we go to the main theater and watch the shows. I didn't know this until recently, but they have their own theater now in some of these mega ships. So the kids all get to go in this theater. And they also have a black light puppet show. So they get to watch this black light puppet show, and they also get to participate where they're creating their own puppet show. So don't feel guilty about leaving these kids for a little while, even if you don't want to leave them the whole day. They're having a blast. Sometimes when my kids came back and they were telling me everything, I wanted to go to the kids club. Like, can I come? Actually, some of those smaller groups, the age, I think 3 and under, allow the parents to come in with them. That does vary by cruise line, so check on that. So the 9 to 11 year olds, they're called the Voyagers. So they start getting into sports tournaments, video game competitions. They have video games lined up. They have so many video games, and then they go out on the sports courts and they're playing basketball and soccer. I'm trying to think of what else they were doing. Different types of games. Maybe dodgeball to maybe a lesser degree. I know now some schools around here have started banning dodgeball. We used to play dodgeball, and I'm fine. I made it. But anyway, they compete and they win these awards. I'm going to put a picture up of me and my son. Now, this wasn't when he was in there by himself. It's the same award that they win, but I think we did a family putt-putt competition. And again, this is years and years ago. This is probably 12 years ago, maybe. And we won 2nd place in the putt-putt competition, but you win the Royal Caribbean little crown charms, and they're different colors. They still compete. My kids still compete. I think last year they went on a cruise and they were in an archery competition on the Liberty of the Seas. And the one that's actually in this picture with me, he came in second place again. I don't know that he's ever won. Maybe he has won first place, or his younger brother probably won first place. But they win these awards. They give them out for first, second, and third place, and it's different color medallions. So they're very proud when they come back to you in the evening. If they've won something or created something in their classroom, they want to show you that. Also, with the 9 to 11-year-olds, they have talent shows. So they get up there and compete against each other and have a lot of fun singing, dancing, or whatever their talent may be. They have cultural and arts and crafts. And they also have late night pizza parties. So who wouldn't love that? All right, how many of y'all have the teenagers between that 12 and 17-year-old group? So for Royal Caribbean, those groups, 12 to 14 and 15 to 17, they can opt for what they call pre-planned activities. So things like the rock climbing, they have competitions with that. They have organized dances and movie nights, or they can just choose to hang out on their own in a personal space, like a teen lounge that they have. They also have a teens only nightclub where they have a bar, but don't worry, they're being served mocktails. So, they get to have, they kind of the same experiences as the adults, but age appropriate. If your teen is in the need for even more relaxation, there's a spa program just for them. It's called Y Spa. And their menu features all kinds of pampering services like pedicures. They have conditioning treatments for their hair and more. And yes, the spa treatments, they do cost a little bit more. Okay, my young adults, my 18 plus. So look out for meet and greets. And they have nightclubs. So they're going to have meet and greets where you can get to meet other people on the ship that are your age. And you're going to make all kinds of friends. Don't worry, you are not going to be bored on some of these Royal Caribbean mega ships. If you are bored, call me. No, don't call me. You're not going to be bored. So the best time is look for something called the Quest Game Show. You have to be 18 to get into this game show because it does get a little dicey, if you know what I mean. We went, well, I go every time now, but my first experience going to the Quest game show was a hoot. I was with my daughter-in-law at the time, and the three boys, they went to play something on the sports court, and my daughter-in-law ended up being the captain of our team. And by the end of this Quest game, the entire ship knew who she was. We would walk around the ship and everyone was saying, "Hi, Leslie, hi, Leslie." And my son was like, "How do they know who you are?" And we would just start laughing. So those of you who know the Quest, you know why we're laughing. My son has no idea what we experienced. But if I can recommend anything from 18 plus adults, it is an adult. And, if you're easily offended or, how should I say this without making some of you mad, a little more uptight, you might not want to go to this show. It's not, I would say it's rated R, okay? It's rated R. There are some funny things that happen, and it's just a good time. It's so fun. Okay, Comedy Club is great on Royal. They have trivia, which is always fun for every age group, really. Karaoke, again, and all the sports courts are open for those 18 plus. So on Royal Caribbean, the entire family has all kinds of stuff to do together as a family. And this is where all your memories come in. Because I know I keep saying my kids, my kids, my kids, but it's true. I mean, we come home and we talk about these cruises for years and years and years. Like, we're still talking about that very first cruise. We do all these fun activities together, and usually somebody does something silly or, crazy, or something that just makes us crack up laughing for some reason. It's always an adventure with my family. If you see us on a ship, please join us because we're a lot of fun. So they do have arcades on board. That costs money. These arcades will take your SeaPass card. So you walk in, you see Pac-Man, and you put your CPass card in the machine, you will get a charge on your onboard account. It's going to tell you how much it is. But be careful. If you let your kids go in there by themselves and they have their CPass card, they can keep play all day long, and you're going to get this giant bill at the end. So here's my recommendation for the families with the younger kids or let them go in the arcade. Royal Caribbean has where you can pre-purchase an arcade pass or pre-buy so many credits in the arcade. It's a little cheaper than on board. So if you already know your kids are into that, do this. Go onto their website, go into your cruise planner, and pre-purchase the arcade credits. If you're really concerned, when you get on the ship, go to guest services, and you can put a lock on their card. So they can only spend a certain amount of money per day or for the entire trip. And once it's gone, it's gone. They're not able to charge anything else onto that CPass card. They have a big rock climbing wall. A lot of families like to compete against each other and see who can actually make it to the top. Some of the ships have skating rinks, so if you're on like a Freedom class, Oasis class, Quantum class, Icon, you're going to have a skating rink. So not only are you going to see these amazing shows, don't miss the ice skating shows. Even if you're like, I don't really like that kind of thing, go. It is amazing. The ice rink is so small. I don't know how they can do some of these jumps and flips and everything else that they're doing. It is so much fun. These skaters are professional skaters. Some of them have been in the Olympics. They're athletes. Go check it out. But on other days, you can actually go and ice skate as a family, or you can sit in the seats and watch your kids ice skate. I will tell you, make sure you pack long pants and socks, because they will not let you out on that ice with anything other than that. You have to have on long pants. So if you have on shorts, they're going to say no. They're going to tell you to go change. So you really have to have that on. And they do make you wear a helmet. The zip lines on the Oasis class ships and higher are fun, fun, fun. They're not that long. They kind of go across the boardwalk. So you start from one and go to the other. I was just recently on the Harmony with my girlfriend, and she did it. So I'm going to put a video up so you can see that. So you're seeing that now. You'll see her go across. I think it takes longer to hook up to the harness than it actually does to zip line across. But she said she liked it. She had a lot of fun. So that's free. Go ahead and do that as a family. They also have iFly on some of the ships, on the Quantum class ships. They have surf simulators, escape rooms, and laser tags. Some of those things do cost extra. The iFly, which is like a simulated skydiving experience, was amazing. So we all did this. Back when we did it, I think it was in 2018, it was a free experience. I think it's still free your first time, and then after that you have to pay, but double check, because these prices on Royal Caribbean are what we like to call dynamic pricing, meaning they keep changing their prices on a daily basis. What is priced today is not going to be priced tomorrow the same. So constantly keep looking at the prices and what's free and what's not free. The escape rooms definitely cost extra. I've seen them anywhere. If you get a good sale, you might pay like $25 to $35 per person to go into the escape room, but I highly recommend it. I do not recommend it probably for anybody, I don't know, younger, maybe 12 and under. They're hard. We went on the one on Oasis of the Seas that's all around Nassau. And they told us that actually the engineers from NASA designed this escape room, and I believe it. Because you need to have a brain of an engineer to understand some of this stuff. I had a hard time with the math. Like, I feel like you needed a degree in calculus to figure some of this out. Now, don't let me scare you. It was me. I was in there with, 8 kids from the ages of 20 to 22 years old, plus one other family was in there with us, and we figured it out, and we set the record for the whole cruise that week, getting out fast, but it wasn't easy. So it's not something like you're going to go in and solve in 5 minutes. You're going to take, I don't know if it was, I think we were given maybe an hour or 45 minutes. It is challenging. So if you've got a group of older adults, or older children and adults, go do the escape room. I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. So there you have it. I hope this video in some way helps you plan your family cruise, or gives you an idea of some of the fun things you can do together when you're cruising on these amazing ships. Let me know if you have any great suggestions for our viewers and their families who are cruising Disney and Royal Caribbean. Thank you for being part of the Cruise Savvy family. I hope to hear from you soon, or I hope to see you on a ship soon. Happy sailing.